Well, hello. Today is Saturday, March 24th, and it's time to go over our meeting, which this week was Plan Your Meals. I do try to plan my meals. I really do. Start off with, I did have the success story because I was successful again this week. Look at, I've got three pages, 3 weeks of stars. So I'm on 3-week roll. How far am I going in my roll of losing weight? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th week in a row I've had a loss. I hate to jinx myself. Last time I said that, I jinxed myself. But no, I'm going to lose again next week. But anyway, I lost 0.4. Not a huge loss. I'll give a minute, but we'll talk about that. But it was a loss. So my total loss is 66.3. So I'm now 237.9. And like I said, my goal is to never go back into the next set of digits. So I'm not going to do that. And this is the freestyle, plan your meals. First off, I know a lot of people have suggested to me that I might have an easier time on the weekends if I went and weighed on Mondays, and I do agree with that sentiment, but I found a leader that I like. I found a leader that's inspiring me. The first one I found was Kim, but then she got promoted within the Weight Watcher organization, and Denise took over, and I wasn't really sure, but oh my gosh, Denise has really done really well with taking the place of Kim. I did join at one other particular meeting, and it was all right. You know, it was convenient because it was close. Not so much close, but it was more centrally located when all of us were going. My 2 sisters, and my daughter. And then as they dropped out, I just wanted to get something a little bit closer to home. I did go through different meetings, and I've had 4 different leaders. They were all really good. I'm not saying that they weren't good, but you know, I think you just got to find that one that's like your person. You know, like I don't know what movie that was from. Was that Jerry Maguire? You're my person? Whatever. But Denise is my person, and she helps me stay on track. She inspires me. She's a really good leader, and I have to control my own destiny. So I have to control my weekends. Once I reach my goal, I'm still going to have weekends. So I have to learn how to do it. So the one way you can do it is to plan your meals. Now this week I did plan my meals because I ate out 3 times. That's what I was going to talk to you about. I ate out Sunday. I went to Cadova's with my sister, or my daughter Christy. I'm getting my people confused. But with Christy, and I had a chicken quesadilla with guacamole and sour cream, but I tracked it before I left, found out exactly how many points it was. The old Sandy would have ate the whole thing at one meal. What I did was I split it in half before I even started, and knew that I was going to eat half for lunch and half for dinner. So I had all of my points. I don't think, I'd have to check to make sure, but I think I might have used a couple of my weeklies. Monday I was right on track. Tuesday I knew I was going to be eating out. I was going to go to the Outback, but I tracked my meal before I left. I love their bread, and I love their baked potato, so I tracked it. I had it, figured it into my points. I planned my meal, and I had it, and I enjoyed, well, if you watch my daily vlog, you'd see that I didn't really enjoy the meal that much because the service was so poor. The food was ice cold when we got it, but I had the fun of being with my brother and my sister. So, I mean, I had a good time with that. And then on Thursday, I went out to the Outback again. I went to a different one. Excellent service. The food was perfectly made. It was hot when we got it. And there was 8 of us. And so usually when you have that many people, the service tends to be a little bit slower. But no, everything was perfect. The food was good. I tracked it. I think I used 3 of my weeklies. And I walked every day this week because I planned my meals. I planned what I was going to have. I usually eat pretty light on Fridays, and so I planned for that. I planned to eat light on Wednesday, drink a lot of water both on Wednesday and Friday and Monday, because I knew that when you eat out, you get a lot of sodium. So I figured that into my plan. So what you want to do, and I'm going to try not to say, so what? I say that a lot. So, but anyway, we're going to plan your meals. As with most things in life, advanced work pays off. With mealtime especially, whether you pre-track your dinner or you make a batch of the week's lunches all at one time, or you figure out a full day menu, planning makes it easier to do. What the first thing you want to do is avoid spur-of-the-moment eating, and that's when you don't really know what you're going to have. I don't plan for the whole week. I I somewhat plan for the week what I'm going to have, but I'm not on a day-to-day basis. I just plan that, like, one day I'm going to have chicken, one day I'm going to have a pork chop, you know, that type of thing, and do my grocery shopping accordingly. If you don't really plan what you're going to have for the day, I like to in the morning get up and think, this is what I'm going to have for breakfast. I don't eat a lunch. I eat a brunch. And this is what I'm going to have for dinner. Maybe I'll have this for a snack. It's in my mind. That doesn't mean it's set in stone, but it's kind of giving me an idea what I want to have to eat. Because if you avoid spur-of-the-moment eating, when you know what and when you're going to eat at your next meal, it's going to help you out a lot. If you're working especially, so many of us, I know that from myself when I was working, it's just easier to stop someplace and pick something up and bring it home. First off, it costs more. Second of all, it's loaded with sodium. And the third of all is it just doesn't taste as good as a home-cooked meal. And if you plan it ahead of time, you can really enjoy it so much more. Plus, it's so much cheaper. It really is. I was thinking because I had a small steak. I had a filet mignon on Thursday at the Outback, and it was $22.50. I mean, I know that came with the potato. That was all it came with, was the potato, now that I think about it. So for $22.50, I could have bought myself like a couple pieces of steak and a couple of potatoes and that. But obviously it costs more because you have to pay for the restaurants, you know, utilities and the wait staff and things like that. It's always cheaper to eat at home. Makes sense. Multiply your possibilities. Planning your meals help you explore different foods and bring in a range of flavors, nutritional benefits, and smart point values. I try really hard to kind of jazz up my meal. They had brought it up at the meeting today that you need to change up what you're eating just to trick your metabolism. My metabolism knows that, you know, in the morning we're going to have all kinds of fruit. I should spur it up a little, you know, change it up a little. And I really do try, but have I introduced myself? Hello, my name is Sandy, and I'm addicted to fruit. I'm like a drug addict because my drug of choice is fruit. I know that fruit's going to, you know, help me out a lot. And I know that nobody ever got fat just eating fruit. I hear all of those sayings. But there's a lot of sugar in fruit. And Carrie over at Weight Watchers with Carrie is doing a sugar challenge. And she was just saying how much she's amazed at how much sugar is in everyday stuff. And I have to agree with her. And especially, I know it's a natural sugar, but it's a sugar nonetheless. What I did say before, you save money. If you enter the supermarket with a solid list of ingredients for specific meals, you won't spend money on food you don't really need. You'll also be less drawn to those less than optional buys and on the end of the aisle displays. The end of the aisle displays usually have the fattening things, the crackers, the cookies, the cereals. Not to say that you can't eat them. You can eat them in moderation, but if you plan a meal, a healthy meal that you're going to go from your ingredient list, you're gonna really do well. I have chili and soup in my freezer. I buy like the meat and I brown up the meat and put them in little 3-ounce packages. So if I want tacos, I have the extreme wraps in the cupboard. So if I decide that I just want a taco, I just take out the meat from the freezer. I have taken it right from the freezer to put it in the microwave. I think it takes like, in my microwave, it takes like maybe 2.5 minutes to get warm, and it doesn't get all hard and, you know, bitter or whatever. It works out pretty good. Also, if you plan your meal, you'll get in the healthy zone. You can plot how your meals and snacks work together over a day to help you stay within your budget, and you can use your weeklies accordingly. Like I said, I used my weeklies to eat out this week. I didn't deprive myself. I had a good time. I ate out. I'm going to have Chinese today. I'm going to figure that into my points. I'm going to have 0 points for my breakfast. The Chinese, we're eating at 2:30, so it's like middle of the day. I'm used to eat 1 or 2 o'clock anyhow. That might satisfy me for the whole day. That might be my only meal today. That's not a healthy option to do every day. It's not going to kill you to do it once in a while. And then also you enjoy every bite. When you shed the stress of last-minute decisions, you can anticipate and then really savor the taste. How many of you come home and you're all stressed and you whip something together and then you got homework, you got to do this, you got to do that, and then you just like shovel your food down and you don't really enjoy it? Take time. If you've taken time that you know that this is what you're going to do. A lot of times if you have freezer prep things, your kids can help you out a lot. And my kids help with the meals. That's how they learn how to cook because, you know, they're not going to have their mother follow them all through their life. They're going to have to learn to take care of themselves somewhere along the line. So there's 4 things that you want to do is batch and freeze. Batch, cook, and freeze. you don't even have to cook. Some things you can just batch and freeze them if you want. And you can prep your meals, freeze them, and then just take them out like a frozen dinner. Focus on foods you love. You know, just because kale is healthy for you, if you don't like kale, why are you going to eat it? Enjoy the stuff that you do like. You can pick and choose. There's a lot of things out there to choose from. Also keep pre-cut fresh veggies on hand. I know it's so easy just to grab those vegetables that are already pre-prepped, but if you really look at the price of them, it's just ridiculous how much they cost. And just think of how much you can get from that. I looked at a small little tray of watermelon, which probably was only a quarter of a watermelon, was I think it was $5.99. Whereas the whole watermelon was on sale for $2.99. And I got way more than that. I mean, it was more than I could eat, but I gave it to my grandkids, you know, sent it home with them so that they could eat it. Also, you want to boost your flavor with fresh salsa. I love salsa. And, you know, you can have some of those chips if you want and eat the salsa as a snack. So there's four things that you need to do, three things you need to do to set up your meal. And first is you want to start with a base. And what you want to do is pick a 0 point item, whether it's like your lettuce, some chicken, some tofu. Once again, if you don't like it, don't eat it. And salmon. And then the second step you want to do is choose your add-ons. Pick things that you're going to put with the meal. You do have to have points in the day. You can't, it's very possible to eat just 0 point meals the whole day, but you're not going to lose weight that way. You do need fats in your diet, and you do need carbs in your diet. You need the things that give you points. That's going to help your metabolism along. And then kick up the flavor. Stock up on ingredients that add zing to your food. I do like the everything but the bagel seasoning. I love putting that on my chicken. I like... I use a lot of garlic salt, onion salt. Trader Joe's has lots of different spices that I like. I can't think of any offhand, but I do use them. I have them in my cupboard. The recipe is for warm kale salad. Speaking of kale, I don't like kale, but warm kale salad with onion, mushrooms, and egg. And see, that's another thing. I don't like an egg on my salad. I love eggs, but I don't like them on my salad. So we covered the book. We got through the book. That was the first part. So the things that you want to do is write down your plan. So there's 3 steps that you should take. Because most people have the weekends off, what you should do is plan your menus for the following week on a Friday. Shop on a Saturday because that's your day off. And then prep on a Sunday. To me, my shopping day is on Wednesday. And I prep on Thursday. So what I do, I must plan on Tuesday. Although I don't really plan, like I said, I just kind of have a general idea. I get the sale papers and I figure out, like, the chicken's on sale, how many chicken breasts I'm going to buy, and then I freeze them. So when you want to, see, I said I wasn't going to say so, and there, I said so. You want to write down your meals while you're planning, then write your grocery list. If you have a general idea what you're going to have, you're going to know what you want to buy, and you're not going to be tempted with impulse buys, which is going to increase your budget. Always, 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 always make time for yourself. You're the most important person in this whole equation. And if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. And if most women are the responsible ones for as far as the shopping and the prepping of the meals and things like that. Not to say that men don't do it, but for the most part, women usually do it. And women tend to take care of other people before themselves. And you have to remember to take care of yourself first. If you prep food for the week, like I boil 7 eggs on a Sunday, so then I have them for the whole week. Then I eat 1 a day. I chop up my vegetables and I have them in that Rubbermaid container so they stay fresh. And my fruit, I just have in the thing, I just use it as I go, but I don't really clean it that much. But there's so many different ways you can plan your meal. You can put chicken so many different ways. You can cook chicken, you can cook eggs. You can make so many of your favorite dishes with all these 0 point foods. But you have to remember that if you don't plan, you're going to indulge. So plan what you're going to do this week. Plan your meals. Try it for just 1 week. Try it for just 1 day. Even if you just plan your meal for tomorrow, it's going to help you out tremendously. Trust me, it will help you out. It'll help you stay on track. Even if you plan on eating out, track ahead of time. Go on their menu app on their website and figure out what you're going to eat. So I will see you guys next week with another loss.